Nothing. Hold on, nothing here, nothing here. This is Travis. All right, I'm on. Trent, you're coming on here quickly. All right, Trent, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Dan, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Let's get that microphone real up close to your mouth. Got to speak like an airline pilot.
Got to almost put it straight to your lips.
A little too close there, but you're right there, right there. Go ahead and talk.
How is this?
Check, 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 check. I sound good. You feel sound good? Dan, can you hear okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's keep talk.
Okay.
We're not. All right, folks, we're we're kind of here.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so
Travis can breathe easy.
no, I'm not breathing easy yet. Let me explain. We've had nothing but tech difficulties here this afternoon. So I've been at this for about 4 hours now, and I've already pulled my hair out. Matt Harris, he's probably not listening because he's calling his own game right now, has had enough of Mr. Hobson today. So I apologize that we're using a different camera than we're used to, number one. You'll like this, fans, because you got the scoreboard on there today. It's accidental. But we're having to shoot from our Huddle robotic cam across the way, which is what our coaches use for film. We usually have a camera back behind us, a little higher quality, a little higher definition. And we can't get the cameras to sync with the program. And we have no viewers yet, by the way, but we're being recorded, and people will come back and listen to this. So we're on like Donkey Kong. That being said, welcome, Travis Hobson, Thunder Ridge High School Athletic Director here. My boss, Trent DeBell, to my left.
Hello, everyone.
He's our principal. And we have a very, very special guest today. Now, before I introduce my special guest, I need to call attention to what it is this week. This week is the NFHS, National Federation of High School Sports, Officials Appreciation Week, and we brought on none other than our commissioner, Dan Andresen. Say hi, Dan.
Hello, everybody. It's sure a pleasure to be here, and I just want to thank Travis and Thunder Ridge for allowing me to come here and joining the podcast. As Travis mentioned, it's Officials Appreciation Week, and we didn't think of a better time than to podcast this, and here's the officials coming by right now.
Watch out, boys. You got your boss on.
We really appreciate them and for all they do. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is kind of a somewhat of a surprise. We had planned on doing this event. We like to bring on a guest. So Dan doesn't know a whole lot about what we try to do here. I kind of gave him a brief explanation over text. Sit behind me. A brief explanation over text what we try to do here. We don't really do a great job at play-by-play and calling the game as it is. We give our thoughts and perspectives. It's more, we got told by Mrs. Coons, I'm going to say that because it'll make her mad. We got told by one of our office staff that it was actually more fun than a play-by-play because we kind of talk podcast style. And so we stole the information, just to be for the record, from the Manning cast, Monday Night Football's Manning cast. And so far, it's been kind of fun, and I'll be honest with you, it's probably more fun for us than anybody else.
I think it's just a great time to talk and share our thoughts.
So we
got one viewer.
We got a viewer. So we're gonna take a quick go radio silent here for a sec while we do the national anthem, and I think we're waiting for our national anthem singer to show up. It got real quiet in here, but we're not singing yet. Yeah, we're. It looks like Travis ain't the only person having tech difficulties today. All right, so our performance tonight is going to be from our Thunder Ridge High School Chamber Choir. Again, I'm going to apologize probably 10 times for the tech difficulties today, but we're going to make it best. We're going to go silent here for a sec. Tell you what, new technology. I'm going to put the microphone on them and let them hear this. How about that?
That's a good idea.
For maximum. We'll mute the three of us, though. We're off.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
back. So just some. We're trying new things, Dan. Good job, Rand. We're trying new things, and sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't.
Hey, a shout out to our new choir director, Rand Matheson. He came to us from St. Olaf College out of Minnesota. If any of you aren't familiar with that, that's the Harvard of music school. So feel pretty lucky, and Rand has just taken our choirs to a new level.
All right, I'm guys. I'm gonna live.
Sound is off. I don't know what's wrong with it.
I'm gonna sign off for a second. I got jumbotron problems. You guys have fun.
Travis has just got to sign off here real quick. Our jumbotron's having some problems with some sound, so he's going over to try to get that work. Before we do tip-off, just want to introduce the starting lineups for both teams. We're going to start here with Pocatello. Pocatello is going to start Abby Lusk, number 1, senior. Going to start number 2, Brindley Poole, a junior. Going to be number 4, Cameron Tatum, junior. Number 5, Oakley Hershey, a senior. And number 15, Madison Torngren, a sophomore. For Thunder Ridge tonight, it's going to be number 0, Macy Stokes. She's a 5'6" junior guard. Going to go number 5, Allie Nilsson. She's a 5'8" junior guard. Going to go number 20, Ellie Boyle. She's a 5'9" freshman guard. Mia Taylor, number 24. She's a 5'8" junior guard forward. And going to finish it out with Nevaeh Davenport, number 34. She's a 5'9" senior guard. So got the starting lineups for both teams set. And just about, I'd say probably about a minute and a half from tip-off here. You got it all worked out, Travis?
No. We're not even close to getting things worked out. Today has been a bad tech day for old Trav here. We're gonna make it work, right? We're just keep making things work. You guys, I'm having to adjust some micro adjustments here. You guys still hear okay?
Yeah, I can just still hear everybody fine.
Right.
I also would like to take a shout out and compliment that choir. They were quite very good, and I have no musical talent at all, so I sure appreciate good choir when I hear it. They definitely were very good.
Okay, it feels a little bit loud in here today for not a big crowd. It does feel kind of loud. So, okay, so let's, again, our goal here, Mike Tyson, my favorite, always said you've always got a plan to get punched in the mouth. And I have been kicked in the teeth tonight. So my plan's out the window. That being said, Dan, here's what we're trying to get to. We want to focus on you as much as possible. We'll try to call some play-by-play where we can. Well, now the sound's back on. Well, I don't get it.
You worked your magic.
I yelled at it, and I kicked it and told Bueller to say something funny, and all of a sudden it works. Okay, so Dan, what we'd like to get from you as much as possible is we're a couple of hack jobs, and we own that we're hack jobs.
We do not profess to be professionals on this Titan cast at all.
We are fun. We are hopefully enjoyable to listen to. We might have a glimpse of basketball knowledge occasionally, but for the most part, if we can get from you, Dan, commissioner, the boss of these guys, a little bit about you. We'll get into, I'll lead you into those. A little bit about you, your career, why you got into this. I hear you have some big, exciting news to share, which you're welcome to share if you want to. You don't have to if you don't. I'll tease the audience, and you may or may not get that. But when we see things, especially, we do our best not to take dumps on the officials in live game. We want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But we also don't understand all the nuances of why you call what you call. And by the way, Dan, we do have a gift for you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
We did hook up all your officials today and Thursday, since it's our 2 home games. And I didn't tell my secretaries we were here. Like, we'll make him one too. I'm like, yeah, make Dan one. So thank you for all you do for us and everything for our association and making our games manageable and hospitable. So feel free to chime in. Usually we'll tell our guests, let us kind of do most of the talking and chime in when you can. We want you to chime a lot. We expect a lot of basketball knowledge and talk some ball out of you tonight.
Yeah. First of all, again, I'd like to reiterate that thank you so much for having me. Basically, the approach of officiating, I think, is just like with the ADs, school administrations, and coaches as well. We're all in this together, and we're all after the same thing, to make sure that we put the best product out on the floor, and so people walk away from the game talking about the great plays that the players made. And that's our job as officials, is make sure that it's an enjoyable environment for everybody. And do we get every call right? No, but we sure try to minimize the misses, as coaches try to minimize the misses with their players. And we're all in the same boat. We may row it a bit differently, but that's basically the gist of what we try to accomplish as an officiator, to make sure the game's played on a level term.
So I do think it kind of leads me into a couple of questions just to write you off the bat. Let's dispel. Let's use the moment here to dispel some common rumors and some fallacies. Do officials walk into games having the game already decided? Come on.
Oh, no. You got to remember, we're officials, and we're not that smart. That's just too much for us to think. When we come in, we see two colors, one's white and one's dark, and we just wanted to make sure that one team's not getting an unfair advantage over the other. We don't have any prejudice bias or anything like that.
So Dan, maybe talk for just a sec about what an official does on game day. How do they prepare? Talk about how do they get the assignment to show up to a certain school? How does all that work?
So that's where I come in as a commissioner. And so before the season begins, the athletic directors will send their schedules to me, and I will go through and evaluate the games and look at the level of the officials we have, and I will assign the officials accordingly based on their experience. Obviously, with newer officials, we put them on the JV games. With varsity officials, we use seasoned officials. And so they get their assignments. I like to get them out 2 to 3 weeks in advance so they can prepare for the type of game that they're going to have, because every game is different, and so every game carries its own personality. And so I try to find 3 officials that I think will mesh well together. And during game day, I will send out some reminders of what to look for, maybe what things we're doing good, and maybe some things that maybe we need to take another look at just throughout the association. And so that's kind of what the assignments are based upon. I try to assign 2 to 3 weeks in advance for the officials so they can be prepared for the game that they have coming up.
That's great information to know. And it's more than just making a phone call and saying, hey, I'll use Roger Harrison here because he's on our game. Hey, Roger, I need you to be at Thunder Ridge at 7:30 tonight to officiate the game.
Yeah, it goes a little bit deeper than that. I don't think officials like to be surprised on the day of where they're going, and so I think in anything, ADs like to know what their schedules are like 2 weeks in advance, the same way with the officials. And I don't like any last-minute surprises because things change, as you guys well know, and maybe I have an official that gets pulled up lame or whatever, so I have to be prepared for the unpreparable.
Well, I hate to, there's a little bit guilty conscience in a couple of those comments there, Dan. We don't like to have surprises. Yeah, I've thrown a couple of surprises your way, and I try not to. But a little game update in action here. We got score right now 3-3 tied. There's been a couple of, let's just be honest, it's kind of some rust and some nerves maybe, some ambience. So I'm going to label this as a little bit on the sloppy side of basketball. But Nevaeh Davenport with the Thunder Ridge 3 on the one end, and I can't really see.
I think it was number 5, Oakley Hershey, got an and one. Layup, got fouled, made the free throw. So tied 3-3.
And foul went to Macy Stokes.
Correct. 6.5 minutes still left in the first quarter. So still just a start to the game. Abby Lusk up for 2, misses that shot. Long rebound out to Mia Taylor.
So Dan's aware. Trent, you were aware as well. Was here over the East Idaho Holiday Shootout. These 2 teams have already faced each other. In fact, it was a double overtime shootout, just nail biter. Thunders came away with a 3-point win, I believe. But that game didn't go without a little bit of controversy and back and forth and some brawling a little bit. And right now, Titans going into the under the 6-minute mark, going up 5-3. Abby Lusk here with ball in hand. Got to tell you guys, she's a ball player. Keep an eye on her. She's already committed to Gonzaga. She's the real deal.
Yeah, Abby is just athletic. I've seen her play a couple times. In fact, you talked about playing Pocatello once already. We actually saw him before the season even began. We saw him for a half in the Jamboree. So this really kind of is our 3rd time facing this team, and Abby's just been a force to be reckoned with from moment one that she steps on the court. And congratulations to her for taking that position in Gonzaga.
Now, happy to see on the Thunder Ridge side here two good intercepted passes for quick fast breaks. Allie Nielsen on the score, bringing the score to 7-3 Thunder Ridge. A nice steal from Macy Stokes there, able to roll almost all the way, missed a layup, but back and forth here. I don't care how tight this thing gets over the course of the first quarter, 2 quarters, maybe quarter, 2.5 quarters. This thing's going to go to the very end. So it's going to be an exciting game to watch for all of us. Dan, we haven't seen any real action yet to bring in and kind of chime in on the mechanics of things yet. So tell me this. Let's get to know Dan Andresen a little bit. So, Dan, you and I go back, 24 years now?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's been a hot minute.
At least 25 years.
Been a hot minute. We've known each other quite a while. A nice shot there from Mia Taylor off a 12-foot jumper. Dan, you started your way kind of the same way I did. Just kind of started there early in the ranks and just climbed your way up. But you found a lot higher ceiling than most. So go ahead and give us a little bit of background on Dan. Tell us where you come from, where you be now, and what's next for what are you doing for Dan right now?
Okay, so a little bit of history about myself. My dad was a school teacher, school administrator. So he was an old basketball coach, football coach, superintendent. Was born in northern Idaho. Lived in Kamiah for 3 years. And then we lived down to Richfield. And that's actually, as a 6th grader, I started to officiate outlaw games.
No way.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so I wasn't going to control 35, 40-year-old men on the ins and outs of the ball game. But I got used to taking heat at an early age. My dad got the job up at Mackey as a superintendent, graduated from Mackey in 1980, and I started officiating in 1986 with basketball. I found some success there and just slowly moved up the ranks and had the opportunity to do several state tournaments and many postseason assignments. And then around 2000, I also became a football official because officiating in our family, I went to the dark side as an official. My brother and dad, they went to the coaches to the good side, I guess. So, but I became a football official and got hired by the Big Sky Conference to officiate football in 2012, and I've been a Big Sky Conference official ever since. Had the opportunity to do the national championship game in 2020, which was a great honor for me. And they hired me as a football commissioner in 2011, and they hired me as a basketball commissioner 3 years ago. So I take knowledge that I have, and I don't know it all, trust me. And we try to relay it down to the officials on what we're trying to accomplish. And on the other side of things, I've been out at the site for 35 years, and I'll get to retire here in a couple weeks. So that gives me more time to do assignments and push buttons. And sometimes being a commissioner, you get good at pushing people's buttons.
Well, so. there was the nugget I wanted you to get to. A nice jumper there from Brimley Poole. Brings the score 9-7 Thunder Ridge. Again, I'll just so our listeners understand how you and I know each other now. I got to know Dan as a coach primarily, but I'll admit that I have been known to be a bit of a little bit of hothead on the sideline, and I got a mouth that doesn't stop when I'm upset about something. I think some things don't change. And I mouthed off to you and a couple other guys, Dave Sire and Hugh Foster and Tim Earhart. And you probably say, "Listen, you big mouth, you're so good, you know it all. Come do it." And I'm like, "All right, I will." And I officiated football and basketball for 8 years. Really enjoyed it. So there is a little bit of inside knowledge. I just don't have what you have. That's just cold hard facts.
I always tell to be a good official, it helps if you have a sense of humor and bad hearing, because that just eliminates a lot of the stuff. But seriously, over the course of time, officials and coaches, they actually remain pretty good friends. We develop relationships, intense moments. Sometimes those relationships get tested, but we pretty much just leave it right there at the moment, and we continue to be good friends. And, everybody asks, why do you officiate? Well, it's because of the relationships you build with the coaches, the ADs, and also it's the relationships that you get to see with the players. To watch, we're talking about this Abby Lusk. To watch her develop from a freshman to where she is now, and she's going to University of Gonzaga. So that's always why I enjoyed officiating, is you also get to watch these players develop from their freshman year, trying to find their footing to develop into the beautiful ball players that they are their senior year. And we get a front row seat to watch it all. For sure.
And I got to tell you, you said something again. I'm going to chime back in and reiterate what you said. You said, talk about building relationships and how some of those things you test them in the moment, but you find how good they are in the end. I got to tell you, it's through some of our testing of the moments once in a while that I had an issue just not too long ago that involved some officials in our area with a particular situation.
Yeah.
We're not going to divulge the details on air, but
Sure,
we
sure.
talked, obviously. And when I get to have a coach in my office just really upset about things, I said, you know, I don't really care what the commissioner says. Like, listen, let me stop you there. I have known Dan for 20-plus years, and I trust him. So you need to let Dan do his job. And just about every time, it ends right there.
Yeah.
And that's I'm proud to be able to say that.
Yeah, and I'm also proud of that too because basketball, football, what sport? It's a game of great plays. It's a game of emotion, and unfortunately, sometimes it's a game of mistakes. Coaches try to minimize the mistakes. My job as commissioner is try to minimize the mistakes on the officials. They do happen, but hopefully the game turns out where we're remembering the great plays and not remembering the mistakes. And we try to address the mistakes and learn from them and move on and lessons learned and try not to let it happen again if we see that situation.
Well, we got a lead change. Our first lead change of the game. Adeline Schuler dropped a 3-ball back there. It takes the lead to 13-12 Pocatello.
A little bit of a Pocatello run here. They we were ahead 12-7, and they've come back and made it 12-13. So
Yeah,
Pocatello playing better in the second half of the first quarter than they were in the first half.
Yeah, a couple quick adjustments from Pocatello's bench, and we're getting to a full-court man look. Not really a press look necessarily, but just a full-court man. Allie Nielsen driving the lane, drawing a foul. Foul's going to charge, I believe, the number 2, Brinley Poole. Sure was, Brinley Poole. That's going to be her first foul. Second team foul. With under a minute left in the first quarter, 52 and 8/10 seconds left. Pocatello leads 15, Thunder Ridge 12.
You know, an interesting thought, too, is we always say this is a family affair, and we actually have sets of brothers officiating. One of the officials here is Chandler Coombs, and his brother Brad Coombs is his older brother, and they're both very fine officials. And so we're fortunate to have them in our district. And so it's kind of in the blood.
Well, I find a lot of that, too. I think once your parents or siblings get into it, it kind of makes it easier for others to get into it as well. It sounds like that was your genesis. Allie Nielsen dropping the and one, 13-15. Pocatello leads, 50 seconds left in the first quarter. So far, just kind of back and forth action, and no real dominating performance just yet. I'm going to label it as good, solid defense. Pocatello's really working that give and go. They must have watched that Highland film, boss.
They are.
That just high post, that like a UCL screen on the top, and then it's really getting that quick give and go.
And if they're not giving that, they're kicking it back out. And Adeline Schuler's hit a couple threes to help Pocatello. Thunder Ridge playing fairly good defense. Abby Lust there for 3 for Pocatello, 18-13 in favor of Pocatello. Should be the last possession here for Thunder Ridge. 7 seconds left in the first quarter. Macy Stokes for 3, no good.
Rebound, Kayla Kuntz, and stays this way with more to go with the expiration of the clock there. Well, no real technicalities to talk through. There's been no real action to sift and digest. It's just kind of just straight up basketball.
Yeah, you know, and what officials always look for, that we always talk about game flow. Let the officials establish a game flow and let the players adjust to how we call the game. And we actually, as officials, the very last thing we want to do is blow a whistle. That's just a stoppage of the game. But when there's a foul or a violation or whatever, we have to make those calls. And so if you got good athletes, and we have several good athletes on both teams out here tonight, we try to stay out of the way and just call what is needed. I think players, coaches, fans, they're here to watch the players play the game, and we only officiate when we have to, but just stay out of the way of a good game.
I'm not going to necessarily spill your beans for you. You've got a great expression you use in officiating and as a commissioner, and if you want to lead yourself into this, or I can lead you into it, but it describes the flow. You got an expression that your officials repeat almost ad nauseum, and I love it. It's don't mind the fender benders, find the train wrecks.
Yep, we want to get the train wrecks and ignore the fender benders. Because there's basketball, yeah, you're going to have little bumps and little contact here and there, but we want to always make sure that there's an advantage, disadvantage. Just because there's contact doesn't necessarily mean it's a foul. So we want to see what kind of contact that is, what does it cause, does it create an advantage for one player over the other. But if it's just minimal contact, incidental, we call those fender benders, we let them go.
to our 12 listeners we have right now. Well, I got to tell you, Dan, we might have 12. We got up to about 80, 90, 100 last week, and we'll climb that a little bit as we go.
Good.
That being said, we do get a lot of repeat viewers that come back and watch us later. I know our teams, our coaches, our parents come back and listen to it when they saw me setting this up. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're doing this. And, folks, again, I can see my video feed right there is freezing a bit, and I do apologize. Again, we usually have a live camera, don't have this issue, but we're making I can't share that expression. We're doing
CeCe
our best.
Puckmeyer there for 2 points for Thunder Ridge. Brings the score 18-15.
Looks like they're moving Abby Lust down into that high post and giving her a chance to pop out. And CeCe Puckmeyer going to give a foul there on the 3-ball. They're just shooting 3.
Tell you what, we talk about flow, and this game has had good flow, 18-15. Just watching a little bit of the first quarter, definitely Pocatello has some height, but Thunder, I believe, has some quickness. And so both of these forces are going at each other. Both teams are playing to their strengths.
One thing Thunder Ridge is going to have to do to continue to stay in this game, they're going to have to know where Abby is on the floor at all times. She's got the ball on the block a couple times, shot a couple threes, and she's got a good shot from all over the court. And we're going to have to pay attention to where she's at and D up a little bit.
Well, she right now is accounting for 7 of the 20 Pocatello points, about to be
make it 8.
8 of the 21 Pocatello points. Over a third of their points right now, and Thunder's defense going to have to start keying on her a little bit. I will say that when we played these guys last time, I thought they did a good job of taking Abby, more or less out of the game. She was certainly still in the mix and played a key factor, but not quite as dominant as she's showing so far right now. Thunder is checking Ellie Boyle and Nevaeh Davenport back in the lineup.
What's the old saying? When you have a star player like Abby Lusk, you can't stop her. You just hope to contain her. And so she may get her 20, 25, whatever, but you just try to make her work for every shot, and hopefully that wears down towards the end and can create an advantage.
Yeah, you're right. The old rule is that she might get her 25, is make sure nobody else gets 10.
Exactly.
Ellie Boyle for 3, up and good.
And gets it.
It's a great shot.
Great shot from the dead corner there. 18-21, Pocatello leads.
Good assist there from Nevaeh Davenport.
I am liking the defensive pressure in the keyhole right now. Good job from Kayla Coons with a deflection shot. Ooh, just a bit outside.
Well, that was the cheerleader.
One thing both teams noticed here to start the game is a couple possessions just maybe getting a little out of control, thinking a little too fast, maybe just slow themselves down a little bit before they throw the ball away and put it somewhere where they don't want it to be.
So, Dan, I don't mind here circling back a sec. You said
Sure.
something I want to key back on, and we talk often on this broadcast. Now, for the most part, this broadcast, it was built for postseason. We didn't really have the ability or the wherewithal. We're growing in better as we go, but the regular season options weren't really there for us. So it's kind of a districts kind of a deal. We talked often last year especially that from a coach's perspective, the regular season can tend to get called a little on the tighter side. You get a district play, and you rarely see the first bump called. You get the second bump. You get a state, generally takes 2 bumps to get a call.
Yeah, and that seems to be a common theme that I've experienced for all the years of my officiating, is that we try to set a tone a little bit during the regular season, and then come districts, I do think subconsciously, and I do tell the officials, all right, they're pretty seasoned. The players are playing better. We can relax our bar, if you will, and we can raise a little bit more, a few more bumps go through. And then when you get over to state, to your point, they'll let them bang quite a bit. So that seems to be the mantra that has been established the last few years, and that is pretty true to form.
Well, quick game update. We had a second chance shot from the back end over here from Thunder Ridge. Nevaeh Davenport gets a 3, ties the ball game up with 5:13 left, 21-21.
Allie Nielsen for 3.
Allie Nielsen dropping another 3-ball on a timeout, Thunder Ridge. So, Dan, let's jump back in for a sec about the contact piece, because what you said that drew my attention was not all contact is fouls.
Correct.
And now, good luck telling that to the folks behind us. Go ahead and give it a shot, I dare you.
Not all contact is a foul.
Louder next time.
I misunderstood what you said that first time, but we'll come back to that. But yeah, sometimes if you got 2 players going up and they're both vertical and they bump into each other, and there's really no advantage one way or the other, there's going to be no foul called.
So let me give you a specific scenario, and I would love to talk about this on air, and I hope any coach or player comes back and listens to this. This is a critical piece. How hard is it to get officials to call fouls? Well, I'm talking about an offensive player dribble penetrating the rack in the keyhole, but they fall away in the layup, and there's contact.
So a rule of thumb is I want the defensive player to establish legal guarding position, and I want her to maintain that legal guarding position. And if she's willing to take the charge, then that should be a charge. If they're falling away, then she's kind of given up that legal guarding position. And so she's given up the right, and it's almost like you're making us to make that decision. And the decision that we may make, there's an old saying in officiating, if you're going to leave it up to us, we may break your heart. So make sure you take the charge. And sometimes in my day, and I'm not saying this is right, but we develop little innuendos, and I would tell a player, you had the charge until you bailed out. So.
And I would say that equation actually goes both ways,
yes,
because we're talking from the defensive perspective at this point, but it also goes from the offensive side. If an offensive player is dribbling the dribble penetration, dribbling the keyhole, going for layup, falls away, and really what comes down is the contact. They get a little scared of the contact and don't want to bang as much, so they throw a layup. And you see a lot more girls basketball, I'm afraid, than boys, but they fall away quite a bit, and it's harder to, right now.
Yeah.
That right there, you're never going to get that foul called.
Yeah. Although
it was just called.
Well, when you get a hand check and the ball flying, it's a little bit different. But had she maintained control there, you're not going to get that foul call.
Yeah, but a rule of thumb, too, is if the player takes the ball strong to the hole and gets foul, we're going to give you that. Now, a lot of times when the player's falling away and gets a little hit, we will pass on that foul because you're telling me that you're bailing away, and I will tell players and I'll tell the officials, give me a better shot. Give me a shot that's worth calling that foul. And as officials, we do get fooled. I will be the first to tell you, we get fooled on some of these plays.
Important one for me on that same note. Rhetorical question here, I'm going to warn you. How many times have you changed your call because of what a patron says in the stands?
I can tell you how many times that number is 0.0000%.
And I would be surprised if it wasn't that number.
Well, there might be a touch of an agenda on my part here, but I think what I'm trying to get to here is, players play, coaches coach, officials officiate, fans cheer.
Right.
All those equations should. L.A. Boyle on the 3-ball, up and no good.
Close.
So close. It's hard to sit down here at this table or to be a supervising administrator and listen to some of the things that are said because, A, you probably don't hear them, number one. You already said that'd be, what was your thing you led off with?
Have a sense of humor and don't be able to hear very well.
Have a sense of humor and be deaf. So those two things. So I get we're all passionate fans, we're passionate coaches, we're passionate players, but there's a time and place for it, and just know that it's generally not helping.
Right. I always because as officials, you also develop relationships with a lot of these fans. And a lot of these fans are very passionate about the game, especially if they have daughters and sons playing. And we understand that. We get that. But I've always told fans, I'll give you a 2 to 3 hour exemption to where you can let your emotions maybe run over a little bit. But afterwards, we're still going to be friends, and we're still going to talk about the great plays made. And that's kind of the relationships that we try to establish with the fans.
I think that's a great attitude to take because you know that parents are super passionate about their children and put the time and effort over the last 10 or 12 years to get them to where they need to be, get them to the practices, get them to the games, and just help them be to where they're at. So they come and watch their child play, and they're passionate. They want them to be successful. They want them to have some fun. One question I'll ask you, Dan, is student sections. And in high school basketball especially, those student sections are super close to the floor. Your seniors like being down there on the front row. They like to razz the other team a little bit. What do you notice from student sections? What's been fun for you to see? How have you interacted with them? And what's appropriate, what's not, and all those types of things with our kids.
Personally, from officials, and then when I officiate, and I think most of our officials, we like to have fun with the student section because they're young kids and they're here supporting their friends that are out on the court. And some of the comments that come out of the student section, to be honest, are really quite humorous and they're quite funny. Where these guys get these sayings from. I can remember when I officiated and the student section was just giving me a bunch of guff on a call they didn't like, and I just looked at them and said, "You guys didn't like that call?" And they said, "No, we didn't." And I said, "You know what? I didn't like it either." And that just got them laughing, and that just developed a rapport with them. And so it's good to establish good relationship with the student sections, because this should be fun. High school should be fun. This should be fun for the students. It should be fun for the people watching, the cheerleaders, as well as the players. And that's what makes it fun for officials, is to develop that relationship.
So recapping the game here, we've been having back and forth action. I really think Abby Lusk may have heard our broadcast, saying that we had mitigated her effectiveness in the tournament game, and she is just about ready to take this game over. Any second now, she's just going to launch off, but a little worried about when she's going to find her real groove. She's been knocking down some points, sitting with 12 points right now overall. And on the other side of Thunder Ridge, Nevaeh Davenport leading the team with 11 points. Been some quick transition shots and really just some good quick basketball. Good defense, good offense. This is moving. And
for Thunder Ridge, Nevaeh is really leading the charge here. Nevaeh's hit some big shots, found some open players when they come to guard her. So she's doing a great job at hitting the shots when she's open and finding the players open when she's not open. So, and then Abby Lusk, obviously you just talked about her. Thunder Ridge is doing a great job on double teaming her when she gets that ball down low. They're kind of focusing on putting two players on her if she gets the ball down on the block there.
You know, one thing I've noticed too is I did have the opportunity to watch Pocatello early in the season, and they are a much better ball club than what they were at that time. But I can also tell you I also watched Thunder Ridge early in the season, and they are a much better, more seasoned ball club right now than what they were at the beginning of the year. Thunder Ridge has had a very good transition game, which I think has gotten them some good looks at some open threes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We got some loose ball issues down on the baseline. Abby Lusk charged their second foul, third team foul for Pocatello, compared to Thunder Ridge's 4. We had a foul issue there. They left it up on the scoreboard. They had called the foul 30 on number 35, Thunder Ridge, and that would be her third foul. She wasn't in the game, so I'm not sure where they went with that one. It never got updated on the board. I guess we'll find out when Sean gives us some stats at halftime.
Yeah, and I think we had an official come over, and they wanted to correct that, I think. They want to make sure that the foul was attributed to the right player, which you can do as an official.
And Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, you can even 2 or 3 minutes down, goes past in the game, you can still question that and have that official
that is
correct that. Is that right?
That is correct.
Is there a time limit when that's no longer able to happen?
That's one of those rules that I'd have to go look in the depth, because the official has to have definite knowledge that they have called a foul. We can't just go make things up, so we got to go on the knowledge based upon what we have. I do believe there is a time period element where that comes into play. To be honest with you, I cannot remember it right off the top of my head. But this actually came up the other day, and we did talk about it, that we can go back, I want to say momentarily in time, and make sure that we got the foul.
Yeah, I would think that it wouldn't be kind of the course of the game kind of thing would help dictate that. You're not gonna take something that you saw in the first quarter and challenge it in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. But if it's a couple of possessions and the flow of the game dictates that you can make that have that question and bring it up, then that would be okay.
Yeah. And we have correctable errors. This does not fall under the category of correctable error. However, the official, it's like giving a timeout to the wrong team. We can come and make sure that we correct that.
Yeah. A little bit of just a quick update here. So we're now at 14 viewers. So our viewers that didn't get our introduction, we were just a little bit late getting on. We got Dan Andreasen, who is the Commissioner of Officiating here for District 6, as our guest on here on the cast. Thunder Ridge currently ahead 28-27, about just over a minute left in the second period. So Travis mentioned it earlier, but really good back and forth game. Thunder Ridge came out, took a 5 or 6 point lead midway through the first quarter. Pocatello came back, took a 1 point lead, and it's kind of been back and forth from there. And this game might come down to whoever has the ball last might be the team that walks away as the winner.
Tell you what, it's been a 1 or 2 point game for the most part. Had a little run here and there, but it's been a back and forth game. It's sure been enjoyable to watch from my point of view.
Well, Sylvie Talbot just drew her first foul, puts the Pocatello in bonus, so the team fouls at 5 for Thunder Ridge. Can be at the line shooting 2 is number 5, Oakley Hershey.
Going to check in for Pocatello is going to be number 11, Laney Rogers. I think this is Laney's first action so far of this game.
Dan, I got to tell you, it might be worth explaining yet again why the rules have changed over the last couple of years. Those are not used to the old way of basketball, 17 fouls in versus 5 per quarter, and shooting 2 versus 1-on-1s. They don't happen anymore. You can go through that a little bit for our average viewer that may or may not know the details.
Yeah. So believe it or not, there is a method to our madness why these rules are administered. And I've always said officiating is like the medical profession. We don't really call it a profession, we call it a practice, because we're always changing and evolving as the game changes. And so as the game changes, we have to change the officiating philosophies with it. They've done studies, the NFHS, and decided that number one, if we're going to shoot get 1-on-1, that a lot of injuries were occurring on the rebounds for 1-on-1, and so we've basically done away with the 1-on-1, and then we've done the two free throws after 5 fouls at each quarter. It used to be if you hit 7 fouls in the first half, you went to a 1-on-1. Well, we were lining up players, and sometimes not a lot of injuries, but significant amount of injuries than usual would occur on rebounds. And so they decided let's go, college kind of plays it this way. They've adapted the college rule at 2 fouls after 5, or 2 free throws after 5 fouls in each quarter. And also we talk about flow of the game, pace of the game. It speeds up the game a little bit. So we're not always going to the line and shooting 1-on-1. And coaches have to be smart on, I don't want to say coaches use fouls, but there's sometimes that you foul. So coaches or players got to be aware that you just don't want to go out and foul. So you got to be strategic, and I don't think we do have a term called intentional foul, but nobody intentionally goes to foul in the course of the game. And so they've done studies on this, and this is how we come up with a lot of the rules and why it's always changing, why it's evolving. As the players change, the officials have to change with it. And Idaho, believe it or not, and Oregon was one of the last 2 states to go to 3-man. We used to use 2-man mechanics. Now we have 3-man mechanics, and this is a lot of the reason is because the game is picked up pace-wise, and we had to pick up with it, and so we put a third official onto that game.
Good history context and some awareness there. That actually learned something new in there that I didn't know before.
Yeah.
I have noticed from my vantage point, basketball games are supposed to last about 90 minutes in high school.
Correct.
They never lasted 90 minutes prior to this rule change. They do now, though.
Yeah, if you go back in time, the olden days, back even when I played, we used to jump ball on every tied ball. Do you know how long those games took?
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine
I remember those days.
what that is
word.
when you go to a jump ball.
And especially a lot of these players, both men and women, when they're just learning, you would have so many jump balls, and it just took forever to get a game. And so obviously we went to the alternating possession rule, and now we've evolved that way, and the game will continue to evolve because I'd like to say that when I played it was the greatest talent ever, but unfortunately I'm one of those athletes that every year I graduate from high school, the further I'm removed, the better I become. And the players are just bigger, faster, quicker, stronger. Just it's more specialized, and the athleticism that we see today is just head and shoulders above when I played back in the 80s and 70s.
You want anything to eat or drink?
Good.
So just going to recap real quick. We're here at halftime, and Pocatello's leading Thunder Ridge 30-28. So 1 possession game here. Game ain't over yet. Anybody can come back and have a great second half and take it over. Going to just give some quick stats real quick. For Thunder Ridge, number 5, Allie Nielsen's got 8 points. Number 20, Ellie Boyle's got 3. 24, Mia Taylor's got 2. 34, Nevaeh Davenport has 13. So Nevaeh having a great first half, leading Thunder Ridge with 13 points. A couple other players have scored as well. They just don't have those up on the board, and we'll try to update that as quick as we can.
We'll get the stat book there from Sean once he gets done with it there. And I guess Dan, I missed to chime in. He's getting caught in a conversation behind us, but people don't realize when you had to do that jump ball anywhere on the floor, that's why they used to have the dashed line below the keyhole. That's why there was 3 points of jump balls.
Yep, and you don't see that anymore. And if you go back even in the olden days before that, the keys were different. And back in the 20s and 30s, it used to be that you had 5 players or whatever, and only 3 stayed on one end of the court and 2 stayed on the other. And so that's how the game has changed and evolved. It's fun to go back in history. And if you want a good laugh, go back and look at how the officiating was in the 70s. We used to point at players and make them raise their hand. You know, that would not fly in today's culture. And we almost looked like we were Keystone Cops back in those days. But that was the blueprint given at the time. And so now we use 3 officials, and we try to use term still eyes, so we're not moving so much. So that's why we have 3 officials, and we each have our primary areas, and so we're not moving as much, and we can cover the area better.
Okay. Before I get into my question to lead you into another conversation here, but I was raised just beyond that time frame where refs would point at you, had to raise your hand.
Yeah.
And so my coaches, as a kid, going from little man basketball going through high school, my coaches all taught that. So we found our coach will tell you better raise your hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always got questioned like, why are you doing that? Because that's what my coach tells me to do.
Yeah.
And I just now, today, 25, 30 years later, now understand why Coach Kada and his guys were always telling you, better raise your hand.
Yeah.
And you remember probably playing a little church ball back in the day too, and you'd watch some 65-year-old guy in the game and foul be called, and he raised his hand, and you'd be like, why is he calling on himself? Well, that's what they used to do.
Yeah, did not have officials in church ball, thank goodness. I probably wouldn't have played very long. But for sure, I remember those days. That's kind of funny. But
Yeah.
On that note, last night I was sitting there watching the NFL game. I was just jotting down some notes of things I want to cover with you. That was one of the things I really wanted to talk about. Yeah, 3-man mechanics is fairly new,
Correct.
at least to Idaho high school basketball.
Yeah.
And it is different. So I've never officiated 3-man. I don't understand the mechanics, and it moves. The vectors change and move.
Yeah.
Did you try to dummy that down, explain that best you could?
Yeah, so basically,
Sorry to interrupt you.
basically, we always had areas of coverage in 2-man mechanics, and we had to extend those areas. With 3-man now, we call the third official the C official, and he has a certain primary area which is more off ball, and the trail official can have the shooter, the lead official can have the shooter, or sometimes in certain situations, the trail will stick with the shooter. And so I like to call it primary area and secondary area, and we talk about primary defenders and secondary defenders. So each official has their primary responsibility, so we're not having to watch the ball as much. Now, with that being said, sometimes we do get caught being ball watchers, and that's where I give the officials some tough love, if we will. We want to make sure that we get the contact away from the ball, and that's what kind of instituted the 3rd man, is just because the game just evolved where it was quicker, and we had to evolve with it. And the only way we could do that effectively is to get a 3rd man out there.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. And I will say the games have been called quite a bit cleaner. You get a lot more of the appropriate fouls, the train wrecks, as you mentioned.
Right.
And I think a lot of things that are missed in basketball oftentimes are the off-ball activities.
Correct.
And those are hard to see, especially in 2-man mechanics. You get missed in 3-man mechanics.
Yeah, yeah. And I will, to your point, we still will have misses where we see a player on the floor, and the worst feeling in the world as an official is how did that player get there, because we didn't have eyes on it. We have minimized that. I would like to say that we're perfect with it. We're definitely not. We have a saying in officiating, perfection is unattainable. We strive for excellence, and that's what we always try to do, is to give the girls an excellent game, because I can slow the film down. When I evaluate film, I can pick any official apart if I put it in slow motion. We got to make decisions in live action. Most of the time, we get our decisions are right, but yeah, once in a while we have a miss, and so that's where we address it.
And it happens. I mean, it happens in any sport, any activity, anything with officials. The reason we have officials is to be able to help with some of those things, but we're all human, right? We all miss.
Yeah, I tell coaches, and I had this conversation, when your player has a bad game, missed the game-winning shot, or had a turnover, double dribble, as a coach, how do you handle that player to get him or her ready for the next game? And I says, do you bench him forever or whatever? And they go, no. And I go, and then I'm the same way with the officials, because sometimes officials may not have a great game or have a bad call or whatever. So my job as a commissioner is to get them up, get them ready for the next game. Coaches don't teach players to miss shots, double dribble, and we don't teach officials to miss calls. But they happen, and it is part of the game. And so we're in the same boat in that area. I got to talk officials, hey, we had a miss. All right, what can we do to prevent it from happening the next time? And so I think the philosophy is just like a coach. Get them ready, get them going, get them up for the next game. Because as the old saying is, you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. you've got
You got
to
a
move.
lot of sayings, Dan.
Yes, I do.
I noticed that. You got a lot of sayings today.
So my officials, they call them Danisms, and my family at home just calls it a bunch of Campbell's soup. B, and I'll let you fill in the blank because I kind of got a lot of philosophical approaches to it, and I think with anything in life, it's kind of a mindset too. You know what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, tell you what, this feels like a great minute for all of us to wet our whistles, catch a quick break. Let's go to a commercial break. Thank a couple of our sponsors. Let's go ahead and sign off for just 1 second. We're going to throw a couple of our sponsors out. Be right back.
Life happens. Lucky for you, ICCU has a new kind of checking account that comes with benefits that help you life better. Because being human is a full-time job.
All right. Okay, and we're back. This is Idaho Central Credit Union, one of our key sponsors of Thunder Ridge Athletics. The sponsor for the Titan Cast in particular is Murdoch Manwaring and Cardin Real Estate Agents. And tonight we want to throw a special shout out to Bob Potter and Advantage Tree Care.
Thanks, Bob.
Doing us all a big solid favor and helping sponsor Thunder Ridge Athletics and this particular Titan Cast. We want to keep being able to do this. If anybody's interested in helping facilitate some of these equipment upgrades we're trying to get, we'd be happy to alleviate you with the tax break.
We are not pros at this, and always looking to improve, and that goes along with the technology. You're not, money only goes so far, and you get the technology that you get and hope it works for you.
And I'm currently trying to talk Boss into upgrading our infrastructure quite a bit, but it comes with a significant price tag. So
Got to crunch some numbers to see what we can figure out.
It's putting him on the spot and putting the screws to him right on the air. See what he says. That was bad for him. Travis, don't do that. Quick recap of the first half. I'll go ahead and take Pocatello. Bosch, you want to take the Titans?
You bet.
Pocatello girls just line by line for the rosters through Sonny Evans's Pocatello Thunder roster. Abby Lusk leading all Pocatello scorers, 14 points. She carries 2 fouls right now. Number 2, Brinley Poole carrying 5 points, no fouls. Others crediting stats right now. Number 5, Oakley Hershey, 5 points, 1 foul. And rounding out the lineup, 23, Adeline Schuer, 6 points, 2 fouls. Look, we've got some scorebook colluding behind us. Pocatello's bench is, they're talking about that foul right now. Did you catch who that was, Dan? 35 is not.
I didn't catch who that foul was on.
Hey,
So.
Sean, who was that foul on? It wasn't 35. Who was it on?
It was actually on Kayla.
Oh, so
Kayla's got 2. Nobody has 3.
So that foul was the foul that was credited originally to
To Lucy, but she wasn't in the game.
copy that. Okay, so we were talking about that briefly. Sean just corrected us. Lucy Puckmeyer had a 3rd charged foul. That was incorrect. She was not even on the floor. Got credited to Kayla Coons, who has 2. No more than 2 fouls for Thunder Ridge. Bosch, you want to go to the stat line for the first half?
Allie Nielsen, 2 points, 2 fouls. Ellie Boyle has 3 points, and she has 2 fouls. Mia Taylor has 2 points, and catch Mia here. Mia doesn't have any fouls. Nevaeh Davenport leading the team with 13 points and no fouls. And Lucy Puckmeyer, I just mentioned her just a second ago, she has 2 points for Thunder Ridge, and I don't believe Lucy has any. Nope, Lucy does have 1 foul.
Looks like we're going to have a small injury timeout. Looks like number 2, Brinley Poole, rolled up funny. Got called for a travel. Looks like she rolled her ankle and a little bit ginger, but really kind of nursing her rib cage. Not real sure what happened there, but hope she's all right. Thunder Ridge ball on the traveling turnover. Coach Evans was not happy with that call.
Yes, looks like she maybe felt like there was something that caused the travel, which coaches do. That's coaching.
And I think, too, you try to protect your players. See
Yep.
somebody go down
Yep.
and they're hurt is, how do you protect that player?
Right.
No coach believes that their player's going to hurt themselves.
Correct.
But
And-
then, go ahead, sorry.
And so here's what I tell the officials too. And when coaches are out questioning an official, they're most of the time the coaches are fighting for their players. That's their job as a coach. And the officials they need to realize that their role is to protect their team, fight for their players, and maybe they didn't like that call, but maybe coaches will try to get blood out of the turnip and try to get the next call. That's coaching.
Well, Madison Torngren there just got the and one, got the shot off and the foul, made the bucket on the and one, and Pocatello now leads 33-28, 6 minutes, 50 seconds left in the third quarter. So, Dan, one of the things I want to talk about, I had it on my notes last night, good dribble penetration from Macy Stokes. Great shot there, 33-30.
Macy needed that.
She did. And she's back communicating and gentling up in the offense. I like to see that out of Macy. One of the things that I had to learn a hard lesson with as a coach dealing with officials is how to agree without being disagreeable, or how to at least agree to disagree and then not be disagreeable on the same token. That being said, speak from the official standpoint, and I'll maybe chime in from the coach's standpoint.
Sure.
We got a disagreement. I have a favorite line from officials. Give you a shot to talk through that on what it looks like from the official side, and it's coming. They're not. Upset. It's coming. You're gonna get your head ripped off.
Right.
How do you handle that?
So I will tell officials that if you've had a tough call and the coach is going to come out, here's another one of the Danism. I use it the teapot theory. When there's a reason that the tea kettle sitting on the stove has it allowed to blow off some steam, I'll let a coach blow off a little bit of steam. I always tell the officials, don't double trouble. Let them vent, let them express their opinion, and then if they're willing to express what you saw and why you saw it that way. Because you're going to have disagreements and you're going to have contentious arguments. So as an official, you need to be approachable, and the coach has to be able to communicate with you, and you got to be able to explain an answer. They still may not like it and they may not agree with it, but at least you've developed a relationship to where at least they can talk to you and approach you.
I love that because that's again, going back to Kevin Coach, 2 decades or more. I had to learn some of those lessons the hard way.
Right.
And the way I learned it actually was through officiating. But that being said, my favorite line from official is one of two things. Either, Coach, I'm sorry, I might have missed it.
Yep.
What do you say to that? As a coach, what do you say?
Yeah, I said that to a coach, and I says, Coach, if I had that call to do over, I'd definitely call it different. and it kind of, I don't want to say it deflates them, but they will say, well, at least you're honest and you have integrity.
You've used that one on me.
I have.
I remember.
I have. I wish I had it over.
you just gave me PTSD right there. This is Skyline Century about 8 years ago. I remember that. So I could have called it. You said, doggone it, Dan. That just made me itch. Lost that game, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
From a coach's standpoint, that's what I like to see. And, I think a lot of times if officials give coaches, assistant coaches in particular, leg to stand on, they'll keep going.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to put an end to it.
Yeah. And there's kind of a rule of thumb. We let the head coaches be head coaches. We're a little more tight with the assistant coaches, but we'll let the head coaches have a little bit of leeway, if you will. And, I can remember a story back when I was officiating, and I had a coach that didn't like the job I was doing, and he called a timeout, and I told my partner, okay, I'm going to go over and let him vent on me. And he used about almost all of his time out on me, and I said, Coach, you've used 30 of your 45 seconds on me. Are you done? He says, we're done. And so we went out, and he did lose the game, but the commissioner at that time called me up, and they went into a playoff game, and he said, this coach wants you on his game. And I said, well, they lost the last one. He says, but you let him talk to you, and he wants you on his game. And so that just developed a rapport.
I'll echo the same thing. You've
Yeah.
done it to me. You got a little PTSD there. I remember a couple of very memorable moments where I learned things from you at the same time, too,
Right.
in how to handle officials. And the biggest compliment I ever got as a coach, and it came late in my career, was we appreciate that you don't say much, but when you do, we listen. And that means a lot.
Oh, and it weighs so heavy with officials because if a coach doesn't say a lot, but when they say something, they've got our ear. Guy says, okay, that coach may have a point on something. And so it brings attention to us.
Again, it goes back to the relationship
Yep.
piece you've been talking about. The great shot, Allie Nielsen, dead corner again, brings the ball game into 3.
Allie came up shooting there knowing she was going to make that shot.
Yeah, that ball left her hand quickly, and she knew it. She's already trotting off, and Coach Boyle knew it was going into because she's already at midcourt calling a timeout. So brings the ball game, 4 minutes, 23 seconds left in the third quarter. 36 Pocatello, 33 Thunder Ridge. A big run there from Pocatello coming out of the gate. They went up there by as much as 8 at one point and closing that gap back down. Great shot from Allie Nielsen there to bring the game back into something manageable.
One thing I want to point out, so Madison Torngren was at the free throw line, and a lot of our viewers or maybe even fans don't know this, but Madison Torngren was at the free throw line, and Pocatello had 2 players that were not in the lane. But one of those players went over to the bench to get a drink and crossed the threshold of the free throw line outside of the 3-point line, and a lane violation was called. And so just kind of know and understand that a player in the game, even though they're not in the lane and ready for a rebound on the free throw, they can't go all the way to the baseline. They've got to stay. If you were to extend the free throw line all the way to the edges of the floor, a player cannot cross that threshold and go closer to the baseline. They've got to stay out, kind of past that 3-point line, closer to half court.
Yep, that's an excellent point. We call it, you've heard the term in football, goal line extended. We call it free throw line extended. So that's the barrier that they got to stay behind.
And good job there by Pocatello's coach to pull her player aside during that timeout and explain that rule. Just probably something that player has never had to deal with in their career. Just something that just came up and didn't know.
Yep, something you don't really see a lot of.
Oh.
Well, Kayla Coons comes down with the rebound. Actually, there was 3 offensive rebounds from Pocatello. It was second, third, and fourth chance shots, all missed. Kayla Coons comes down with the rebound and gets tied up in a jump ball possession arrow to the Thunder. That's confusing. To Pocatello. And it remains Pocatello ball. Abby Lusk up with a shot, shoots it off, and man, I think she knew that thing was going in the middle. Left her hands too.
Yeah, she's silky smooth.
39 Pocatello, 33 Thunder Ridge. 3 minutes 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Macy Stokes from a long 3-ball. And
good. Great shot from Macy there.
This makes it fun as officials when both teams are hitting threes and we are just running back and forth and watching the show.
That was the part as official. I hated all the running. I wanted to find a spot and hunker down.
That's where an official will sometimes blow the whistle and say, hey, there's a wet spot on the floor, knowing that there wasn't a wet spot on the floor, but it was just a break for us to stop the game because we get tired.
You know, I gotta be honest with you. You don't. I'm gonna throw. It's gonna be a left-handed shady compliment here. It's a compliment coming. Just stay with me.
Understood.
You don't see a lot of big tubby fat guys like me calling games anymore.
I say that officiating is a somewhat of a perception, and so what we see from the stands and stuff. I had a coach tell me one time, it's one thing to miss a call, but it's another thing when an out-of-shape official misses a call. So I says, if we're going to miss the call, let's look good doing it.
Well, it's noticeable. It's kind of a funny joke. Meant to be a funny joke, but I did mean something serious there.
Okay.
One of the things, again, I had 4 or 5 bullet points that I kind of want to give us to talk about. That was one of them, is some of the improvements that have happened.
Yeah.
Not just the game. You've mentioned several game improvements, Dan, but in order for the game to improve, all facets of it have to improve. The players are getting bigger, faster, stronger.
Correct.
That's no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches are getting smarter and more creative and more clever, and the technologies of studying and film and preparation have all expanded exponentially. There's a third leg of this that has to improve, and it's the officials, and they have.
Yes, and I tell the officials from this point of view, there is so much more that goes into a game from a coach's point of view, and so we have to match the effort that they're putting in as coaches. And so it used to be the old days that we'd attend a couple of meetings, get certified, and away we go. We go to off-season clinics now. I require that of officials, both football and basketball. I make it mandatory that we go to some jamborees, and I ask that the older officials help the younger officials come along, because it's a job for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and when the Board of Control wants to give the officials a pay raise, we have to justify that pay raise. What are we doing to get better to improve our craft? Coaches are putting in countless hours. None of us are getting rich as a coach or as an official, Money is not the driving factor as to why we do this, but we need to be the best version of ourselves out on the court, just like the players do, just like the coaches do. And so we need to match the effort that the coaches and players are putting in as officials.
Appreciate you saying that, Dan. That's one thing that maybe people don't understand is the time off the court that you guys put in, going to trainings, looking at film, just doing the things that you need to do to get better. You hope as a commissioner that your officials, your JV officials eventually become varsity officials, and your varsity officials stick around and continue to help those, help the younger officials do a better job.
Yeah, it's a give and take. The veteran officials, as they get close to the end of their career, and I'm asking, what are you willing to give back to the game? And I think that's just super important as an official. Is what are you willing to give back to the game, and how can you help the association going forward even after you're gone?
So where this is Official Appreciation Week, I wouldn't mind if you throw some names out there. Just if you can think of some officials who have 15, 20 years experience, I think we ought to recognize who those guys are that have stuck around for a while and put their time in and continue to help. Maybe when they don't have to do that anymore, they just do it because they love the game and they love building the relationships with those kids. So who's our veteran guys that have been around for a while?
Well, right now we got one of them right in front of us, Roger Harrison, and he does a great job of holding some jamborees and mentoring the young officials. I would say probably 25, 30 years. Jeff Waldron has been around a long time. He's close to a 30-year veteran. Doug Hymas, he was officiating back when I officiated. And he's still around. He's been a good mentor. Some of the mid-range, Eric Boyce does a great job. Eric's just got great communication skills, so he does it, and he's our rules interpreter. A lot of people don't know this about Eric, but he got picked to do the NAIA National Championship game last year. College of Idaho, shout out to the Yotes. They won that game, and Eric was chosen to do that final. We do have
a couple guys that are college officials.
Yes, we have Eric Boyce is one. Hattie Burr, one of our female officials, does some college ball. Melissa Foz, a female official, she does some college ball. Jeremy Coons, Steve Belknap, believe it or not, has come back, and he's...
Oh, I didn't know that about Steve. Great to have Steve back.
Yeah, and in his role, he's just kind of volunteered as a mentor because his college schedule is so busy that he doesn't have time to do a lot of high school, but yet he signed up with the association, and he's really helped our association by giving his knowledge to a lot of our younger officials and even some of our varsity officials.
Let me put a pin in that for a second. I don't want to end this conversation, but some important game updates. Nevaeh Davenport had been held scoreless through 6.5 minutes. Just got her first 2 points of the second half. Takes her to 15 on the day. The score now, Pocatello 41, Thunder Ridge 38 minute, 20 seconds left. There was a lot of action there while we were talking. And
once again, a one-possession game.
Yeah, we're back in a one-possession game, but what I want to get to, maybe you can chime in, Dan, is on the Thunder Ridge offensive end down here, there were 4 different fouls called. Adeline Schuer picked up her 4th foul and got checked out. Oakley Hershey, another starter, picked up her 3rd foul and has also been checked out. Foul trouble with the fouls now becoming a legitimate issue for at least Pocatello, sitting on 5 fouls for the 3rd quarter. And I don't want to even count up the total amount of fouls for the game. I do think it's having an impact on the game. Now, there are a couple calls down here that were in the first half probably got let go.
Right.
Again, they're not getting let go in the second half. And I do believe there's rhyme and reason behind that. I'd love for you to digest that for me if you can.
Yeah, and so as the game goes on, we want to make sure, especially in where a game is well played as this, we want to make sure that the fouls matter. And so when a player picks up a 3rd or 4th foul, we want to make sure that those fouls are legit fouls and that we don't ding them with do I need to call or can I call that foul versus a need to call. Now that right there, that was a need to call, and it was a great call. And so as the game progresses, another old saying, we don't count the fouls, we just call them. but we want to make sure that when we call a foul that they do count, that it is a foul. And
I think one of the things, Dan, and people that know basketball will know this. Let's say a team has 5 fouls on the board. Another team's at 0. Your coach obviously is going to point out, "Hey, 5-0."
Correct.
People are going to yell from the stands, 5-0. You know, how do you handle that? How do you approach that? Because if you, I guess in my mind, maybe not knowing any better is that does look a little bit as though one team might be being favored on the foul call anyway.
Yeah, and it goes back to that point. You know, this saying will work once, Coach. We don't count them, we just call them. That'll work once.
Yep.
But so as officials, a lot of times too, it might be the style of ball. Sometimes a team, if they're in a man-to-man press, they're probably going to pick up a few more fouls. If a team's in a laid-back zone and the other team's shooting threes, there may not be as many fouls called. But as officials, we are aware of that situation. And we'll always get together. All right, foul counts 5-0. We don't want to go make up fouls, and we don't want to go looking for fouls, but we want to we will say, hey, this is the way the foul count is going. Make sure that we are seeing things on both ends, so that we try to make sure that we're not just focused on one end, because we don't want to go and predetermine that. All right, we need to get a foul.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that that foul is a foul.
And sometimes you don't want to call something just to call something.
Correct.
You want to make sure that it's a legit foul. That happened.
Yeah, and I had a coach tell me one time way back in the day, and it was a girls coach from Highland, and they had the twins that played for them, and they were good.
Oh, they were good ball players.
Oh, they were phenomenal. And the foul count, that was back in the days where you seven fouls bonus, and the foul count was like 18-3. And it was not in his favor. He called a timeout and looked at us, and he just said, "We foul a lot, don't we?" But that was his style. He knew that he was willing to give up a few more fouls because they played a full court press.
Yeah.
They were going to create turnovers.
You knew that just by being that much more aggressive,
yes,
you're going to foul just a little bit more.
And he was willing to give up a few more fouls.
Yeah. So just recap once again, that was the end of the third quarter. Pocatello's had 41-39. We've talked about it all night, but this kind of stayed just a one-possession game. Not really a lead larger than about 7 points for either team throughout the game. Thunder Ridge had about a 7-point lead sometime during the first quarter. Pocatello had a
2-point lead at half.
7-point lead at some point during the third quarter. And so just a game of runs and pretty even right now.
Yeah.
Abby Lush is your second foul, by the way. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, this is the type of game that I thought it would be.
Third foul. Abby Lush in a third foul. A lot of foul trouble on the Pocatello bench right now.
So fouls start to matter.
That's I think a lot of that too is Thunder Ridge being aggressive, taking the ball to the hole, and not taking no for an answer.
Yep.
Ellie Boyle with an open 3 ball, and it's good. And the first lead for Thunder Ridge since midway through the second quarter.
Yeah.
42-41 Thunder Ridge, 7 minutes, 40 seconds left in the fourth-quarter game. Like we predicted, coming right down the minute. And hot contested right down to it. I really hope we don't have a double overtime game again. Just selfishly. Tired. Been a day. No foul call there on the rebound. I think the foul's been called too, and it is. Ellie Boyle, it's going to be her fourth foul. Fourth foul for Ellie.
So starting to creep up foul trouble for some players for Thunder Ridge as well. Also, number 5, Allie Nielsen, she's at 3 right now. So hopefully Allie can keep that number where it's at. Checking back into the game for Pocatello is going to be 15, Madison Torngren.
Really like what Coach Evans and the Pocatello offense is trying to do here, trying to get that real inside-out game. They've moved Lusk down into the post. And it's causing Nevaeh Davenport to really body her up. They're trying to get some big defense out of Allie Nielsen. Hasn't been the easiest thing coming. She's been tough to defend out on the arc, but I'm good. Oh, 3-ball shot from Nevaeh Davenport, no good. Lusk with the rebound. Her height came into play there.
Yep, and that's often misunderstood. They want over the back. Technically, there's no such thing as over the back, but sometimes when you got a taller player flipping the ball out over the player on the inside, you don't want to penalize height.
Macy Stokes on the 3-ball shot, soft miss. Mia Taylor on the rebound. goes back up and gets a jump ball. Gets tied up. Possession arrow to Pocatello. 6 minutes, 37 seconds left. Still 42-41 Thunder Ridge. Any more of your guys you want to call out there, boss, and talk about?
Well, good
guys who
steal
did real
from
well?
Macy
Oh,
Stokes there.
heavens. Where it is Officials Appreciation Week, I appreciate all the officials. But Chandler's older brother, Brad Coombs, he's been a veteran of ours and has really added a lot to the association. Derek Taylor is a veteran that has been around quite a while and really helps our association.
I see Miles McKelvey a lot, and
Miles. He's been around a while, and I watched Miles grow up through the high school ranks as a student, and he's really found his footing as an official. He's done a great job, and just a great person, great official, does a good job for us.
is he Mackey or Chalice?
He is from Mackey.
Yeah. You Mackey boys.
Yep.
So, Dan, how many total officials in District 6?
So our numbers, we probably have about between 105 and 120 available officials. Now, I carry about 40 to 50 varsity officials on a given night, and the rest I use as JV. And I do have some that I will use in JV and varsity. The problem is, too, life gets in the way and work gets in the way, so the availability of every official every night always is something that can be a challenge to schedule. But so far that we've got through it. I know a lot of districts will have to move game times on different days so they can get the officials covered. We haven't had to do that too much over here.
Allie Nilsson for 3 there for Thunder Ridge. Takes the lead 45-43. Dan, one thing I wanted to ask you, we have 2 banners hanging up in our rafters. Two of our students from last year, Brindley Summers and Tanner Scoresby, were named. We're given the District 6 Sportsmanship Award by the officials. Those awards are given out to one girls player and one boys player at the end of the season at the senior showcase. That's after the state tournament happens. And how do you guys come up with that? Do you have criteria? Because that award is given by the Officials Association, am I right?
Yes, it is given by the Officials Association, and one thing that I really want to make clear, me as a commissioner, I stay out of it. I go, this is your guys' award. You're the officials. You see these players in and out, and so how they determine how they come up with it, it's up to them as an association. But a lot of thought and a lot of process goes into it. So the officials will relay the information and go, hey, I refereed this such and such from Chalice, and she really was just a great sportsmanship, whatever, something that has an impact on us, something that makes them stand out. And more times than not, it's usually not the star player. It'll be a player that maybe doesn't get to play a lot, or maybe she doesn't see the court a lot, but she just is there cheering on her team, or she just does something that is memorable for our officials. And so more times than not, it probably does go to that player that doesn't have their day in the sun every night like some of the stars. And so we try to look for a player that just shows the attributes. She's there for her team regardless of how much she plays. And the officials will get together, and then we'll go down the names, and we'll decide who's deserving of this award.
That's great information.
Yeah.
And I love that the officials get to pick that award.
Yeah.
They're there on the floor
Yep.
every night, and they're going to different games. They're seeing different players. It's not just like they're officiating every Thunder Ridge game, so
Right.
they're only seeing 10 or 15 players. And you mentioned that award oftentimes isn't given to the best player on the floor,
Yeah.
and we don't ever want to say one player is better than the other,
Right.
but Brindley Summers is case in point for us.
Mm-hmm.
Brindley Summers, she just didn't see the floor a whole lot last
Right.
year, but every time something happened, she was cheering on her team from the bench, and she did it just in a way that was positive and stood out to the officials.
Yes, and from the small schools, we gave it to a girl from Chalice who didn't play much, but you should have seen her face light up when we presented her with that banner, and she was almost in tears, and that just warms her heart, and that's really a lot of the reason why we officiate is stories like that. It's because you don't measure it monetarily.
Well, it's important to note Ellie Boyle just took her 5th foul and is fouling out at this point. She's walking off the court. You got 10 seconds. We've started now. some of the nuanced things. If you couldn't hear the noise and the dull roar behind us because the game, as you're watching, got kind of exciting there.
It did.
About
Oh, boy.
four back and forth possessions got pretty exciting. It is now 47-45 Thunder Ridge, but Abby Luss is on the line about to shoot 2. If anything's trends are an indicator, about to be 47-47. She's not likely to miss.
You would think that.
Again, 4 minutes, 51 seconds, 2-point margin for Thunder Ridge currently. Kayla Coons just checks into the ball game, puts Mason Stokes back in midcourt. She makes her first.
That's 22 points for Miss Lusk so far in this game. Great game from her.
Yeah, Dan said earlier, got to hold her to 25. She's about there.
Yep.
And makes them both. That's her 23rd point on the night. 3 fouls for Miss Lusk. 47-47. Nevaeh Davenport bringing the ball across the timeline. Drawing defense from Abby Lusk. Dribble penetration. Looks like got past the defense. Kicks it out to Kayla Coons around to Allie Nielsen. Dribble drive. Doesn't go. Rebound Lusk, and we're back on the races. Just bottom line, guys. As expected, a very exciting non-conference game. Got to text my wife. She just tuned in. That's not good. I'm going to get critiqued when I get home. Okay, Dan, jump in on this one right there.
Yep.
Explain that. Now, the entire Pocatello side of the gym thinks that should have been a charge. And all Thunder Ridge is currently celebrating that it was a block. Explain.
Yeah. So from I have another saying. There's a reason we put the official on the floor. He felt that maybe the Pocatello player didn't have legal guarding position. And to me, just personal opinion, looked like she backed out of it a little bit. And so the official chose to go with a block. Now what's important here is we want to bank that call. And if we have something similar on the other end, we want to call it the same way. And if officials get a little bit inconsistent with that, that's where we get in trouble. So that's a tough call. I call it a tweener. It could have gone either way. I personally like how the official chose to call it in that situation.
But in that instance, you got to call a foul there.
Yeah, it's got to be something
Yeah,
there.
you got two girls on the floor. Someone's got to call a foul.
Interesting decision here from Pocatello's coach. 4 minutes left in the game, 1 possession game, and coach subs out Allie Lusk.
Yeah, Coach Boss, I got to tell you, I think a lot of that is due to her drawing her 4th foul, number 1. They're going to need her in the final 2 minutes of the game. I'd say quick 2-minute breather, get a water, and get ready to go for that final 2-minute push.
Pokey's coach has got to be very strategic in how she uses her down the stretch.
This could be an opportunity for Thunder Ridge to put a little bit more distance in their lead while she's on the bench.
Yeah, I bet she checks in, but certainly by 2 minutes on the clock. That 3-ball shot from Nevaeh Davenport, just a little long, bounces back. Mia Taylor defending Brinley Poole on the outside perimeter. Move that ball around, back into Poole's hands, over to Schuler, who's checked back in the game, who also carries 4 fouls right now. 3-ball shot from Schuler, up and no good, short. Rebound, Allie Nielsen, fast break up to Mia Taylor. Should be an easy layup, and it is.
Good transition there from Thunder Ridge.
54-47, Thunder Ridge. 3 minutes, 7 seconds left. Coach Evans calls a timeout.
This is probably going to be Thunder, well, I shouldn't say it's going to be, but is Thunder Ridge's biggest lead of the game. Ties the biggest lead of the game so far, 7-point lead. 3 minutes left.
Abby Luss staying not checked in. Nope, she's sitting down. She's going to check herself. She's going to get checked back in here in a sec.
So 1 minute break for her there.
About a 1 minute break.
Thunder Ridge did take it from a 4-point lead to a 7-point lead during that time, though.
And that's one thing that I think the Thunder Ridge has been very good at all night long is their transition game. They're finding that outlet, and they're finding that gal that's beating everybody else down the floor. They've been really good about hitting the open gal in that situation.
I can tell you, I've been to several coaches' practices, just kind of hanging out. A lot of us doing observations. A lot of us working with this stuff and just listening while I'm working. But I hear them harping all the time about as soon as the shot goes up, whichever one of the guards is available, they're flying back.
Yep.
There's no sense in sending a guard at the volleyball line down to the block for a rebound. Just get back and get that fast-paced offense.
Well, and you look at the matchup situation between Thunder Ridge and Pocatello. Thunder Ridge got a little bit of speed compared to Pocatello's got a little bit of height, And so trying to take advantage of that. And Pocatello's doing a good job of taking advantage of their height. They've probably had more points in the paint tonight than Thunder Ridge has, and Thunder Ridge has had more transition points than Pocatello has.
Yeah, you make an excellent point. Both teams are playing to their strengths. Thunder Ridge's quickness and transition, and Pokey's height.
Well, on the floor, Allie Nielsen, Macy Stokes there, Mia Taylor, Kayla Coons, and Nevaeh Davenport for Thunder Ridge. We got on the Pocatello side, Oakley Hershey's on the floor, Brinley Poole on the floor, Lainey Rogers checking in the ball game, 23 Ashton Adams Schuler, and Lusk is back on the floor.
Foul's going to be called on 33, Kayla Coons. That's going to be her fourth as well. So got a few players on the floor right now with 4 fouls.
And I think, Dan, if you're watching this interaction between coach and official, I like a little bit that there's some explanation going on, and you got a coach that kind of looks something like it's not really an eye roll necessarily, but oh, come on, really?
Yeah, and you can tell that Thunder's coach, she disagreed with it, but my official took the time to go over and listen to her, because to me the coach wasn't berating the official or whatever. She wanted an explanation, and I felt like the official did a pretty good job of explaining what he had. They still may not agree, but they basically agree to disagree in a gentlemanly, friendly manner.
I got to admit, this has probably got to be a decent place to evaluate your official.
It is. It's actually probably the best seat I've ever, because a lot of times I'll go up high where I can kind of come in unnoticed.
Nielsen for 3. Makes that shot.
Nielsen, big
Takes it to a 10-point lead for Thunder Ridge. That great-looking shot from Allie.
Thunder, I think, really shot extremely well from 3-point tonight.
Second half in particular.
Yes.
I do know our Titans do love our home side of our home rim. I don't know what it is. They practice there for the most part. They're used to it. And Schuler with a matching 3-point, and it looks like we're going to get into a press situation now for Pocatello. As expected, this game's going to come down to the wire. 2 minutes left. 7-point lead, 57-50 Thunder Ridge. Minute 53 now. I'm liking these high screens, setting up open shots. Long shot from Nevaeh Davenport, but an offensive rebound from Allie Nielsen, trying to fend off Brinley Poole. Good ball movement from Thunder Ridge.
You can tell that the intensity of both teams has picked up in about the last 30 seconds. You can feel that on the floor.
Yeah, it's palpable for sure. I mean, I can feel it from behind us. I can hear it through our microphones. You can see the players tighten up a little bit now. Yeah, that's a shot I think Nevaeh takes any other time of the day. 3-ball shot from Allie Nielsen. A little long left. Rebound Pocatello. Abby Lusk bringing the ball up.
Even though Thunder Ridge didn't get any points in that position, I would say that was a quality possession, though. Took 35 seconds off the clock with a 7-point lead.
Yep, you're in clock management now.
A good open offensive rebound.
Thunder Ridge does need to do a good job in rebounding the ball, though.
Loose ball maintained by Pocatello. Shot about to go up, checked down. Move the ball around, trying to get the ball into the keyhole again to bring the Poole. Shot up and good. We're going to go timeout, Pocatello. Full timeout. Checking into the ball game right now is Madison Torngren from Pocatello, and I'll get the score for you.
Score 57-52 Thunder Ridge. We've got 43.4 seconds left on the clock. So 2-possession game at this point, but really this is the game that has been all game long. Is one team can get a 7 to 10 point lead, the other team's going to cut it, down to 1 or 2 possessions. Currently a 2-possession game right now, and so it's going to come down to the wire. Somebody's going to have to make free throws.
Yep.
You might need to get a turnover here or there. Might need to make a big 3 here and there. And what a game. What a game.
I can tell you, I can speak to this position from a player and a coach and a parent now. I cannot speak at this moment about this time left in the game, but this close to the game, and it's kind of, you start to feel the tension.
Yep.
I can't speak to an official. You want to talk about that a sec?
So what the officials are, and I'll tell the officials, when the intensity of the game picks up, we pick up our intensity with it. This is where we have to match the level of what's being played. We don't take a play off. We try to say, all right, here's our situation. One team is behind, so possibility of them wanting to come out and foul, make sure we're in a position because they may want to foul. We want to anticipate that. We also want to be aware of timeouts. We want officials to be aware that a coach may be wanting to call a timeout because if they get trapped in the corner, especially if you're Thunder Ridge, they're going to want to use that timeout to save the possession. So these are little things that you want to anticipate before the game gets going.
Glad you brought that up. There are 2 timeouts each way.
Yep.
Pocatello's going to a full court press with Lusk in the front court at this point. The half court trap action looking to offer. Oh. Well, that's good for us.
Yeah.
Kind of I wouldn't say a controversial call right there. Tyson Wallace was right there on the floors. Probably saw it the best of anybody.
And I'll be honest, the table blocked me out, so I had no idea.
I was purely reacting off Coach Evans, and she was solid heading Pocatello.
Yeah.
With a turnover they might need. 33 seconds left. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Still a 5-point margin. We're playing keep away a little bit up top. Coach is barking on the foul. Well, foul. Got the foul there.
One thing to point out here, too, is that does not put Thunder Ridge at the line.
Yeah,
they still have 1 foul to give. So both teams at 4 team fouls. So next foul on either team will put the opposing team at the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, we're going to timeout Thunder Ridge. It's probably an important piece. So, again, 4 team fouls for Thunder Ridge, 4 team fouls for Pocatello. Thunder Ridge score 57, Pocatello 52. 21.3 left. It's going to be Thunder Ridge ball with 21 seconds-ish on the shot clock I think.
Yep.
Going to be a high inbound on the far side of across the way from us.
I'll tell you guys this. I didn't say it in the broadcast, but I thought it before the game as we were working through trying to get this set up. Travis always asks about keys to the game. What's one team got to do to win the game? What's the score got to be? And I was going to say, I'm not saying this because where we're at, but I was going to say 55 points is that threshold.
Yeah, we like to play that game, Dan, where we say first 2 is going to win.
Right.
It's usually been 50, 55. I was going to say that number I was going to wait for you to hit me. I was so frantic setting this stupid thing up today. I couldn't get to it, but I thought the number would have been 60. And I thought the over-under, for the differential, like the plus-minus, I had this thing, if not scratch, Thunder Ridge +1 or -1. I thought it was going to be a tight game from word go. Jump ball, timeout. Okay. Again, some action over there. Looks like Mia Taylor kind of fumbled the ball a bit, and Abby Lush jumped on that. I thought it could have gone jump ball, but it was like a timeout call from the Thunder Ridge bench before full timeout. It's going to take the timeouts back down to 1 apiece with 17 seconds left.
And in that situation where timeout and looks like the other official, I don't know if he's going to come up with a jump ball or a foul, but always go with the timeout. That's a common sense call right there because the coach is wanting it. You save a team a jump ball or an alternating position or a foul.
Dan, is there such thing as in basketball as a lead official or a crew chief? Like a head referee, like you would have in football. Is it the same scenario in basketball?
Yes. And so tonight, the official that came over and checked the books there was Tyson Wallace. He was assigned as the referee position. He's the lead official, and so I tell everybody better be a lead official in crunch moments. But when it comes down to it, he's going to take control and he's going to take charge. Like, all right, this is our situation. Even if there's nothing controversial, he'll say, "Hey guys, the game's picking up and we're not picking up with it." So he'll give words of encouragement. But yeah, we have a designated official. He's called the R, and then we have a U1 and a U2.
That's great. Good information.
And every time you talk, it's like I got to dial back on anything you said. I think there's so much more that goes into an official's job. It's not just the game you see. There's checking the books.
Correct.
There's lots of things that go into that.
Oh yeah. I can tell too. Our officials prepared for the game, and they kind of know the type of game that they're going to have because they've had a couple weeks to think about this one, and this is exactly the type of game that I thought that we were going to get.
So Allie Nielsen goes to the line for Thunder Ridge. 5 team fouls on Pocatello. Allie's up and good with the first. 58-52 Thunder Ridge. 15.7 seconds left on the clock. Allie's going to have one more shot here.
I'd say if Allie can get this one, it might just ice this game a bit.
I think so.
15 seconds is going to be awfully hard to make up 7 to 8 points.
Yep. So Allie up and good there with that shot. 59-52. 13 seconds left in the game.
At this point, you're just defending the 3 ball.
You don't want to foul if you're Thunder Ridge.
That's a heck of a shot there. That shot went up from Oakley Hershey with an easy bucket underneath with timeout Pocatello. That's their last timeout, final timeout. Full timeout, final timeout. 6.1 seconds left, down 5 points. It'll be Thunder Ridge ball underneath the basket on the baseline.
So you anticipate that Pocatello is going to come out here with some sort of full court press. If they can't get the steal on the inbounds, then they're going to try to foul that, try to give that foul immediately and try to keep as much time on the clock as they can.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an automatic foul situation. You can't get some sort of steal or an interception on the inbound pass.
So one thing I want to point out here for Thunder Ridge, and I'm gonna call her out here, but Allie Nielsen had 2 points at halftime. Coach, you look up at the scoreboard. How many points is Allie at right now?
Holy cow! I didn't even know.
24
points.
So 22-point second half for Allie Nielsen. That's been the difference, hasn't it?
Wow. Her shooting. Wow.
Yeah. I did not notice that for, as we were talking with Dan about a few things, but what a great second half from Allie Nielsen. Kind of took over that second half of the game.
And as coaches prepare for things like this, you always hope that you have somebody, an unsung hero, that steps up and has a game of a lifetime. And I would say 24 points. She's definitely stepped up and has probably been the difference maker in this game.
We don't keep stats per Travis and I, but I would venture to say that Allie is nearing probably a career high with that number right now.
It's got to be real close. She had a couple big games last year, but it's got to be pretty close. Inbound pass comes in to Thunder Ridge. Macy Stokes the ball. Quick foul from Brindley Poole.
Going to put Macy Stokes at the line for 2 shots.
Dan used your compliment. You got a text compliment. The stellar broadcast crew tonight, aided by V. Dan Andresen from your boy, Coach Michael Berger.
Oh, my guy, my man.
Coach Berger sends his love.
I've watched Michael grow up.
Macy Stokes up and good with her first shot.
Great coach, and he was a great football player when he played as well.
Well, Mike could take over a game when he was playing football, couldn't he?
Yeah, he had some tools that were hard to guard against.
Macy up and good with that second shot. So 61-54. Thunder Ridge is going to win this game here. Lusk goes for a half-court shot to end the game. Final score is 61-54 Thunder Ridge. Without remembering the score at the end of the third quarter, Thunder Ridge had one heck of a fourth quarter, and Allie Nielsen had one heck of a second half ball game here.
I'd love to see the box score. By the way, the PA voice you heard back behind us was Isaiah Boyle. That's Coach Boyle's son. Not only called the starting lineup this morning, but he also got to call the Titans win.
Good for Isaac.
Yeah, what a game. Go ahead, Dan.
That was a very enjoyable game to watch, and I'm just so appreciative that you guys picked me to come during Officials Appreciation Week, because this was just a great game to watch, very entertaining. Both teams are well coached, both teams played well, and you can tell both coaches have so much respect for each other.
Well, I don't know that Boss has conjured up a guest yet for our Thursday game.
We're working on it.
I would say
I have put out an invitation, still waiting to hear back. Great game by Allie there, Kurt.
I would say if you decided you want to come join us again, open invitation.
I will take you guys up on that. I may surprise you and show up at the most unexpected time. And you know what's funny is you give me a hot mic and I won't shut up. So.
Well, it's been a really great experience. I actually. You know what you know, you don't know what you don't know, and you think you know more than you know, right? I learned 4 or 5 new things from you today, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and as officials, we continue to learn too. And I always say that if you know everybody and everything in the room, then you're in the wrong room. The day that we quit trying to learn is the day that we just become stale. So it's motivation for us. You never stay the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse.
Well, Dan, we're going to give you the honors, if you'd be so kind. Put you on the spot. We did not warn you about this. We do try to pick a player of the game. You got a player of the game you got in mind, and someone who stood out to you?
Yes. I think without a doubt, she stepped up. She hit some key shots. I think we have to go with the Nielsen girl.
Allie Nielsen, my pick too, for sure. No
Good
brainer
call.
to me.
Congratulations to her, 24 points, and that was a solid 24 points.
Boy, I tell you what, and having, again, 2 at half. Nevaeh Davenport coming in with 17 points on the game. Macy Stokes with 7. Mia Taylor with 5. We're just looking at the board real quickly. Abby, 23 points on the game. Fouls there late in the game did become a substantial factor for both teams, really. Ellie Boyle fouls out. We had Pocatello got some foul trouble. Coach Evans had to readdress her lineup a couple times, which probably wasn't awesome for their situation. But in the end, that's the game of basketball, right?
Yep. Game of ebb and flows.
Well, for sure. I got to tell you, this was, despite the technical difficulties, and I apologize again, that I'm sure the broadcast on the YouTube side of things is a little on the laggy side. I apologize. We'll try to get our equipment fixed. I'm going to call him old Matt Harris up and see if I can't pay him to come down here and fix my jump again. That being said, we'll get better. We do intend on broadcasting Thursday. It's Madison Thunder Thursday, conference tilt. We had a little bit of fireworks last time we saw Madison.
Yep.
We hope we don't see fireworks again. We just want to see a good, solid, fun game. So that being said, a conference tilt. Right now, Rigby leading the conference. Madison, Hardy 2, we're in 3. Highland 4, Cambridge 5. This game.
So if we beat Madison on Thursday in this girls matchup, that could create a little bit of a stalemate between Madison and Thunder Ridge for that second place. And I don't know what Madison's schedule looks like, but Thunder Ridge beating Pocatello twice may have a little bit of a bearing on that if Madison has played Pocatello.
Yeah, it really, our tiebreakers come down to several factors. It goes from head-to-head, then just conference record, and then common opponents from the 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A on down. And from my math so far, were we to beat Madison on Thursday, Rigby I don't think can give up first seed anymore.
Yeah,
I think they kind of locked it up. But what people may not realize is in our conference tournament bracket, the number 2 seed has a first-round bye.
Correct.
And that could come at an opportune time for those that need to heal up and get right and go scout and see what's going to happen. So that second seed, some like it, some don't. I know that our people, for the most part, do love it. Coach Chris Schuler here with gracious to the visit. What's up, brother? Hey, your daughter played well, man. That second seed could come down to some real fancy numbers here. We just got the book delivered to us. Let's go through some recap. Let's take Pocatello first. Let's go through quick numbers. Abby Lusk with 23 points. Brinley Poole 7. Oakley Hershey 7 points. Madison Torngren 8 points, and round out the lineup is Schuler with 9.
For Thunder Ridge, we had Macy Stokes with 7. Allie Nielsen, once again, we mentioned it a couple times, 24. We'll talk to Coach and her dad as well, see if that's a career high, and maybe mention that again on Thursday when we're back. Ellie Boyle with 6. Mia Taylor with 5. Nevaeh Davenport with 17. So great game from Nevaeh, too.
I thought Nevaeh led the team in the first half for sure, and I think I think the halftime adjustments is what jumped up and got bit Nevaeh a bit.
Yeah.
I think Pocatello adjusted her and took away a lot of what she was trying to do. Face guarded her, Lusk guarding her, Gonzaga commit, D'ing you up. Yeah, it's going to slow you down a bit. And Nevaeh, I thought, did a good job, but I think where Nevaeh, we've talked about this several times in our repeated broadcast, sometimes when teams catch us on the defensive side, Nevaeh, out of all of them, has been particularly prone to making others better in the process. She finds open lanes and passes. Her dribble penetration draws attention. She'll kick the 3, and I think that's where Allie Nielsen stepped up and shined.
Yeah, and I thought that Nevaeh did a great job. We talk about spacing. I thought Thunder Ridge had great spacing all night, and Nevaeh would make the dribble drive and find the open girl, and a lot of times it was Nielsen, and she knocked down the shot.
Speaking of Allie Nielsen, just pointing this up to the boss here, but Allie Nielsen didn't have just a great second half. She had a fantastic fourth quarter, 13 points.
Wow.
Scored more fourth quarter points than the entire Pocatello team.
Wow.
There's your difference in the game.
7, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, Pocatello had 12 points in the fourth quarter. Allie Nielsen herself had 13. That's an impressive
Couple of big threes there.
What a great performance by Allie Nielsen.
Well-deserving that player of the game. That was fantastic stuff. I really enjoyed I always enjoyed the outcome, but we expected a heck of a game, and we were treated to one heck of a non-conference tilt. For whatever reason, I feel like Thunder Ridge and Pocatello has become a bit of a rivalry. Maybe?
A little bit.
It's one that, as a commissioner in your future, there's certain games you put asterisks by. This would be an asterisk.
That's going to get it, huh? Well, we'll see them again. We're writing our future basketball schedules right now, and Pocatello has offered to want to play us a home and home again. We want that game, so I think this series will continue.
Yeah, and it's just great entertainment for the fans. Obviously, it was a great game tonight. Congratulations to Thunder Ridge, and also congratulations to Pocatello, because I thought they played well.
Pocatello's going to be – we're not going to see them anymore this year, obviously, but we
They're
wish them well
bunch.
as they get into their district tournament here in a couple weeks. And, they're going to be a team in the district tournament down there in District 5 that the other teams are going to have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
They can't take it as a slouch, and they're going to have to play good ball to beat that team. I anticipate Pocatello could make the state tournament.
Yeah, I don't have the crystal ball, but we do kind of keep tabs on the teams that are doing well, and I would say that Pokey's probably the strong contender out of District 5.
Yeah,
I'd agree. Well, it's about that time to sign off. Dan, I'm going to actually give you last words here. So, Travis Hobson, Athletic Director of Thunder Ridge High School. It's been a pleasure to hang out with you all again. Dan, it's been a treat having you here, learn some new things. Would love to have you back on sooner than later. If we can't get you on regular season, maybe a district game or something, come on in, and love to have you join us. Boys, girls, maybe come on and join us for a boys game next.
You know what? I would love to come back, and I'll take you up on your invitation. And just as a final reminder for everybody, we're all in this together. It takes coaches, players, fans, and it takes us officials. We're all putting in an effort to make sure that we put the best product out on the floor. So make sure you thank an official for Officials Appreciation Week, and we sure enjoy what we're doing. And thanks, everybody, for the support that you give us.
Sure appreciate all you do, Dan. Just and all the officials. Couldn't have these high school athletics without you guys, and it, you know as well as anybody that these high school athletics just bring a sense of community. It brings people together. Even though things get hot and heated sometimes,
Yep,
it brings
do.
people together, and you make friendships that you may not have made otherwise.
Over the course of time, the benefits far outweigh what little bit of negative there is.
Yep.
Well, Dan, it's been a pleasure to have you. Happy Officials Appreciation Week. We'll reconvene again Thursday. It'll be a heck of a week, so we're excited. So wish you the best in what you got going on down the pipe. Enjoy your impending retirement. You dropped that nugget earlier. You kind of glanced over it. I wasn't going to let you forget it.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. And different chapter in my life, but basketball, football, sports will still be a big part of it.
Glad to have it. So Travis Hobson from Thunder Ridge High School with Trent DeBell, my boss, my principal, my good friend Dan Andreessen, Officials Commissioner for District 6 in East Idaho. Happy to have you. It's been a real pleasure. You want to say goodbye there, boss?
Goodbye, and we'll share with your friends. We'll see you Thursday.
Last word is you, boss.
See you later, everybody, and be safe, and